we're back to round two because if you were following us a month ago, I had to stand here and I had to talk to this board about a devastating blow that we received from the state of New Jersey in the form of a $4.7 million decrease in aid from the state of New Jersey towards our budget. Now, it was kind of strange because we only projected a decrease of about 80 students, which is maybe 1% of our student population, but the state aid increase was close to 20%. In addition to that, what most people don't understand, we actually had a 3.6% increase in our enrollment with students with disabilities, which is not fully funded by the state of New Jersey. The state of New Jersey, their aid provides for 15.9% of our population. Our special education enrollment is at 19.1%. So right off the bat, before we even started with this $4.7 million reduction, we were almost $4.5 million in the hole. By the time we got done, we were looking at close to a $12 million deficit that we had to fill in order to be able to keep Lenape District at the caliber that it is. So to give you a little history, because this is not something new. This is something that we have faced as a board and an administration for years now. I like to call it the race to zero. The faster the state of New Jersey can get to a point where we get zero funding and we have to do it all on our own, the happier they're going to be. The School Funding Formula Act happened back in 2006, 2007, and was implemented in 2008. The formula is about 15 years old, and it was designed to alleviate disparity between wealthy districts and poorer districts. The formula produces additional funding for poorer districts by determining what the state calls the local fair share. Nobody can figure out what that is or how they calculate that. They won't even explain it to us. The equalized aid takes state aid in the main category. It provides for operational costs in general, and it's covered through the state aid and then our local tax levy. If you would like to see the full presentation of this last month's board presentation that we did, then you can go to this website. There's a flyer right over here on the cabinet that you can listen to the entire presentation. Myself, in addition to our superintendent, she did an amazing job in explaining all of this, how the state has taken this formula, how it has not allowed for proper growth of our budget, and yet they continue to chop and chop and chop and chop away from their portion of funding our district. So we have been actively going after the state for several years now. We've had rallies. Our superintendent, our business administration, business administrators had meetings with politicians, with committees. We've had students go to Trenton. So we've been putting the pressure on. We even have come to the public and asked the public to come to the politicians and tell them that we're unhappy with the way they're funding our school district. What they did with the school funding formula is they imposed a 2% cap on our tax levies. Flat funding for 8 years, S2 in 2018, a situation with healthcare deals and other stressors just sort of exaggerated what we could not do because we couldn't increase our budget more than 2%. Just to give you an idea of what we've been facing, this graph shows the funding from the state to our school district from 2019 to the present. You can see that back in 2019, we received over $28 million from the state of New Jersey towards our budget. I would love to have that today. Except in 2015, we're given just a little under $19 million for state aid. So what have we done to try to keep Lenape District at the top of the state of where it is and still continue to provide the educational experience that we have all known as a Lenape District? These are just some of the cuts that we've made. Again, there's a handout over there that has all the cuts that we've made over the years, has full explanations. If you need more than an explanation of what's there, you can contact our superintendent, our business administrator. They would love to be able to talk to you. But this is just a few things. Just in the area of personnel, we've had dozens of full-time certified and non-certified staff that we've either eliminated through attrition or just simply dissolved those positions. Multiple subject area teachers, building principals, office managers, administrative assistants, transportation director, warehouse employees, treasurer of money, on and on and on it goes with the positions that we've been able to sort of reduce to try to meet the budget every year and keep within that 2%. Scheduling and efficient cuts. And we do an annual review of our class size. Some of our honors and accelerated classes have an average of 30 students in them. We're sharing teachers between buildings. We're combining upper level classes like AP and CAP classes. Our teachers do overloads to help as far as keeping within the budget. Year 1 and year 2 world languages were unleveled. We opted out for PE for athletics and marching band members. We've offered some electives, odd even years. We've reviewed and reduced team taught support classes. We've eliminated double period classes to single periods to maintain advanced art and tech. We're not done yet. Transportation. We've eliminated courtesy bus routes. We've consolidated neighborhood stops. We've eliminated late runs. We've got single pickups for students sharing time in 2 homes as a result of a divorce or separation. We've eliminated non-public routes. We've dispatch reduction in pay. We've 4 crossing guards are off of our budget. We've reduced 2 of our resource officers who are in our schools to help protect our schools and protect our students. Security assistants have been reduced to 9.5 months. We've eliminated substitutes, going to large group settings for substitute situations. We've put freezes and eliminated buying textbooks and curriculum in certain years. We've centralized purchasing, and we've added fees such as parking, club, and athletic fees. What we need, and what we needed as of last month, was some short-term relief, but we also need some long-term stability. Every year we've gone through this for probably the last 10 years of trying to make the cuts and the adjustments and the attrition and keep our district at the level that it is with less and less support coming from the state of New Jersey. So what was their answer? Well, on May 14th, they enacted this PL 2024 C13. It provided state budget aid to the tune of 45% of what they cut from us. It allowed us to, by increasing the tax levy, to increase the tax levy on our constituents. And it extended the budget procedure calendar so that we could meet today as we're doing. Prior to this, our budget had to be in by the second week in May, and that was it. We were done. What people don't understand is some of the gimmicks that the politicians have put in this. For instance, the 45% is a grant, which means we get it this year. It goes away next year. So we're going to be back in the same boat that we're in a month ago next year when we lose that 45%. The same with the tax levy cap removal. That's for this year alone. We're able to, and I'll show you in a second, we're able to increase the tax levy to our constituents, which means the state of New Jersey has taken their responsibility to fund our kids and thrown it on us as board members to say, okay, we're the bad guys. We have to go out and tell you that your taxes are going to go up in order that we can maintain some of the programs, staff, and other things that are in the Lenape district. So the 45% that we're getting back was $2.1 million. Now Now, we still lost $2.5 million from their cuts. And the increase in the tax levy was taken by way of a calculation of the amount of money that we lost from year 21 to year 25, not to exceed 9.9%. So some people out there think that we could raise it 9.9%. No. What we're able to do is we're able to raise it about $7.25 million, which amounts to about 5.7%. That's our limit. And again, like I said, this 45% goes away next year, and we're back in the same boat with a 2% increase next year. So unless something changes up there, we're going to be right back in the same boat that we were in last month come next year. What the short-term relief does do is it gives us the one-time ability to increase taxes above 2%. Districts not increasing tax this year lose all those available funds. And like I said, the 45% is a grant only for this year. So where does that put us as far as our budget's concerned? For the 25 year, our new proposed budget is $174 million and a debt service, which is completely unchanged, of $7.9 million. The tax levy comes out to about 7.4%, $144,146,000. What we did in order to do this, what we've been able to replace because of the increase in the tax levy and the 45%, is what you're seeing now. We have items of operations and fees, student programs and stipend positions and staffing that we were able to bring back, that previously in last month we were cutting close to 100 employees from the Lenape district, as well as many other programs, sports, club supervisors, all those kind of things. So what you're going to see in the green is what we're able to bring back with the current budget. In the white is what we've still had to cut. So we're not able to just bring everything back. We don't have enough. They didn't give us enough. All right? We are able to bring back the non-mandated special education programs and activities that we were going to cut. We are able to bring back getting textbooks and supplies that we were going to reduce. We're still getting rid of our SOR at Cherokee. We're replacing that with an officer that will be hired by us, more or less, an SLEO. We're still getting rid of transportation, eliminating activities at other locations. We're still getting rid of supervision at events, still getting rid of the Chance-Light contract. In addition to that, we're not going to have to go out and charge our senior parents for graduation cap and gown fees. But there will still be fees for optional PSATs, CO of biliteracy tests, and Chromebook warranties. We are still going to have to eliminate the Navy JROTC at Cherokee, but we are going to be able to bring back gymnastics and bowling with some modifications that allow us to sort of control the cost so that it meets within our budget. We are going to bring back some of our 20 clubs that we were going to cut, and we're going to bring back some of our stipend positions for academics, co-curricular, and athletics. However, we are going to watch those over the coming year so that we can make adjustments in the future year. And like I said, next year, we could be right back to having to cut all this again. Our staffing position is probably the biggest thing. Originally, we were taking close to $2 million away from our facility side of our budget in order to try to save staff positions. We're going to be able to restore that fund balance. We're going to be able to reallocate the facility-related expenses and maintain previously saved positions. Our staff cuts, we're going to be able to rehire 65 of our non-tenured staff. Now that was 65 of 90 that we were non-renewing as far as non-tenured. We are still eliminating 2 positions through a reduction in force. We are not replacing over 40 retirements and resignations, and we are still eliminating a central office administration position. in summary, this is the impact that you're going to see to the townships. The reality of this is that the overall effect is about what is it, 1.1, right? But because of the regional apportionment that's set by the state of New Jersey, we don't control who gets taxed what. They do. So every year this changes. Every year they come in and they tell us out of our budget what portion Evesham has to pay, what portion Medford Lakes, Mount Laurel, right on down the line. On an average home in each community, you will see that there's going to be an increase in taxes for the coming year of anywhere from about $67 to up to $286 with the current budget that we have in place. Again, there's a handout over there that gives you all this information. There's a handout that gives you all the information about our cuts. There's a handout that gives you the full presentation of our budget that we made last year, which is a great thing for you to watch. There's also a handout that you can grab that talks about some of our newly elected positions in Burlington County. A very interesting blog. People ask me all the time about other school districts. And the one big story that came out with Tiver and another one of the other politicians about a school district up in North Jersey that was able to have a $45,000 party. Okay, we don't do $45,000 parties. We don't do parties, period. But these school districts like this are getting so much money with no accountability. The only stipulation is that they have to spend it. So something my wife would love to have is a credit card that all I tell her is, as long as you spend it, you'll get it next year. That's what these districts, and that's what we are facing. We got a little bit of short-term relief, although, as I said to you, it goes away next year. What we really need is long-term stability, because without that, next year I'm going to be right back here in May, and I'm going to be presenting another school budget, and there's going to be devastating cuts to our programs, to our staff, and to our school system. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my presentation.